In today's episode, we're examining devastating crocodile and alligator attacks that claimed innocent lives. From an experienced guide who pushed too far into Australia's dangerous waters, to a competitive swimmer whose abilities couldn't save her. But first, we start at Disney World, where a family vacation turned into every parent's worst nightmare. It was June 14, 2016, at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa in Orlando, Florida, when what should have been a magical family vacation turned into an unthinkable nightmare. The Seven Seas Lagoon stretched across the resort property like a shimmering mirror, its man-made waters connecting Disney's most luxurious accommodations to the Magic Kingdom theme park. Palm trees swayed gently in the warm evening breeze as families gathered along the sandy shoreline to witness the nightly fireworks spectacular, painting the sky in brilliant colors. The lagoon itself represented a marvel of Disney engineering, spanning over 170 acres and carved from Florida's natural wetlands, creating a habitat where local wildlife, including occasional alligators, could thrive. The lagoon featured shallow, gently sloped shorelines that transitioned into deeper navigation channels farther from land, a design intended for boat traffic rather than swimming. Lush landscaping surrounded the lagoon's perimeter, creating an illusion of paradise while concealing the wild nature that still lurked beneath the surface. Matt and Melissa Graves had traveled from their home in Elkhorn, Nebraska, with their two young children for what they hoped would be the trip of a lifetime. The family had been staying at the prestigious resort since Sunday, immersing themselves in the Disney magic that promised to create memories lasting forever. Matt, a devoted father who worked in the insurance industry, had saved for months to afford this dream vacation. Melissa, a caring mother dedicated to raising their children, had spent weeks planning every detail to create the perfect family experience. Their 4-year-old daughter played nearby in the sand, while 2-year-old Lane Thomas Graves, a curious and energetic toddler standing just 37 inches tall and weighing 30 pounds, had become fascinated with building sand castles along the water's edge. His blonde hair caught the last rays of sunlight as he worked with the focused determination that only young children possess when engaged in play. The lagoon's gentle waves lapped against the shore as Lane filled his small bucket with water, wading no more than ankle-deep into what appeared to be perfectly safe resort waters. The evening air filled with laughter from other families enjoying the outdoor movie screening and anticipating the fireworks display. The resort's atmosphere had been carefully crafted to eliminate any sense of danger, with uniformed Disney cast members ensuring guests felt completely safe and secure. Unknown to the Nebraska family, the Seven Seas Lagoon harbored a deadly predator that had remained hidden beneath its deceptively calm surface. American alligators, apex predators that had ruled Florida's waterways for millions of years, possessed an evolutionary perfection designed for one purpose: killing. These reptiles are often called living dinosaurs, with a body plan largely unchanged for millions of years, designed for aquatic ambush predation. The species had survived multiple mass extinction events through their incredible adaptability and efficient killing mechanisms. An adult alligator's body operated like a biological weapon, with every feature optimized for hunting and survival. Their muscular tails provided both propulsion through water and devastating striking power. These reptiles could remain motionless for hours, their eyes and nostrils barely breaking the surface while their powerful bodies lay submerged in patient ambush. An adult alligator's bite force is measured at over 2,000 pounds per square inch, among the strongest ever recorded in the animal kingdom. The particular alligator lurking in the lagoon measured approximately 8 feet in length, its muscular body weighing several hundred pounds of pure predatory power. Years of successful hunting had shaped its instincts, conditioning it to respond automatically to movement and disturbance in the water. Its behavior was driven by instinctive predatory responses refined through millions of years of evolution to recognize splashing sounds and movements that indicated potential victims. The reptile's eyes, positioned on top of its skull, allowed it to survey the shoreline, while remaining virtually invisible beneath the water's surface. Sensory organs along its jaw could detect even subtle vibrations in the water, alerting it to nearby movement. As Lane continued his innocent play, the alligator detected the rhythmic splashing that triggered its predatory instincts. The child's small movements in the shallow water created vibrations that traveled through the lagoon like a dinner bell, alerting the hidden predator to potential prey. The splashing provided enough sensory input to indicate movement and vulnerability, sufficient to trigger a predatory response. The alligator began to move beneath the water's surface, using its low profile and patience, hunting as it had for millions of years. Its powerful tail provided propulsion, while barely disturbing the water's surface, allowing it to close the distance without creating any visible wake. The reptile closed the distance silently, remaining undetected beneath the surface. Matt Graves stood just feet away from his son, watching the toddler's playful activities while enjoying the peaceful evening atmosphere. The father's protective instincts remained alert, but the resort environment had been designed to create complete safety and security. The resort had posted signs indicating that swimming was prohibited, but there were no prominent warnings specifically alerting guests to the presence of alligators. The attack came without warning, shattering the peaceful evening in an explosion of violence that lasted mere seconds but changed everything forever. The alligator exploded from the water with lightning speed, its massive jaws opening to reveal rows of razor-sharp teeth designed to grip and crush. The reptile's powerful muscles propelled its body forward like a missile, targeting Lane's head and upper torso with precision perfected over millions of years. The predator's initial strike demonstrated the terrifying efficiency of nature's perfect killing machine. The alligator seized Lane by the upper body and immediately pulled backward toward deeper water with overwhelming force. The impact lifted the toddler completely from the shallow water as the alligator's bite penetrated his scalp and skull, causing catastrophic injuries that immediately incapacitated him. The alligator thrashed violently as it retreated toward deeper water, using its immense strength to overpower its prey. Matt Graves reacted instantly to the horrific scene, his paternal instincts overriding any concern for personal safety. As he rushed into the lagoon, the father reached the animal within seconds, desperately attempting to pull his son free as the alligator continued retreating into deeper water in a frantic attempt to free his son. The alligator's jaws operated like a biological vice, designed by nature to maintain their grip once prey was captured. Matt's fingers encountered the sharp edges of the predator's teeth as he struggled against the animal's overwhelming strength, feeling the warm blood from his son's wounds while fighting against millions of years of evolutionary perfection. The father's hands suffered deep lacerations as he attempted to pry apart jaws that could crush turtle shells and snap large bones with ease. The alligator, now threatened by the father's intervention, increased its efforts to escape with its prey. The reptile's powerful neck muscles twisted and turned as it fought against Matt's desperate grip. Its primitive brain focused solely on completing the kill and retreating to safety. Melissa Graves also entered the water, adding her efforts to the impossible rescue attempt as the family fought against nature's most efficient predator. The alligator's superior strength and aquatic advantages proved insurmountable. The reptile broke free from the father's grasp and immediately submerged, carrying Lane into the deeper waters where darkness swallowed them both. Despite the parents' efforts, the alligator submerged with the child, and Lane was unable to survive the attack. The aftermath sent shockwaves through the Disney community and beyond, forcing a complete reevaluation of safety protocols unchanged for decades. Emergency responders launched an extensive 16-hour search operation involving dozens of personnel, boats, helicopters, and sonar equipment. Wildlife officials captured and euthanized 6 alligators from the lagoon, though they could never definitively identify which animal had killed Lane. Disney immediately implemented sweeping safety changes across all resort properties, installing fences and barriers along waterfront areas, while adding warning signs about wildlife dangers. The company also restricted guest access to lagoon and lake areas, acknowledging the oversight that had contributed to the tragedy. The Graves family later established the Lane Thomas Foundation to honor their son's memory by supporting families dealing with pediatric organ transplants. The incident was Disney World's first alligator fatality in 45 years. Just 1 month later, fishing guide Delilah Flynn would face an even deadlier predator in the crocodile-infested waters of Australia's Kakadu National Park. It was July 15, 2016, when the remote waterways of Kakadu National Park in Australia's Northern Territory claimed the life of an experienced fishing guide. The ancient landscape, carved by countless wet seasons, had transformed into a maze of shrinking channels and concentrated wildlife during the early dry season. Mangrove-lined creeks snaked through the floodplains, their murky waters hiding both prized barramundi and apex predators that had ruled these waters for millions of years. The morning air hung thick with humidity as the sun began its relentless climb over the wilderness. Delilah Flynn, a 34-year-old professional fishing guide, had built her reputation over 12 years by accessing remote locations that other guides considered too risky. Her clients paid premium rates for her willingness to venture into untouched waters where trophy fish congregated. That morning, Flynn had chosen a particularly isolated mangrove channel, known for holding large barramundi during the dry season. Recent ranger advisories had warned of increased crocodile activity in the area, as receding waters forced the reptiles into smaller, concentrated pools. Her colleagues had expressed concern about her increasingly bold choices of fishing locations, but Flynn's confidence in her abilities had only grown with each successful expedition. She had dismissed the warnings as overly cautious, believing her experience would keep her safe. The saltwater crocodile is Australia's largest living reptile and one of the world's most formidable predators. These ancient hunters commonly reach lengths of 4 to 5 meters, with exceptionally large males growing even longer, and possess one of the most powerful bite forces ever measured in a living animal. During the dry season, they concentrate in remaining water bodies, becoming more territorial and aggressive as competition for space intensifies. Their hunting strategy relies on perfect camouflage and explosive ambush attacks, often remaining motionless for hours before striking with lightning speed. These apex predators descend from a lineage that has survived for over 200 million years, with modern crocodiles retaining many highly effective ancestral traits. Shortly before 6 a.m., Flynn stepped off the muddy bank and waded several meters into the mangrove channel, leaving her safety equipment behind to reduce noise as she fished. She cast her line toward a fallen log where barramundi typically fed in the early morning hours. Beneath the surface, a 4.2-meter saltwater crocodile lay among floating debris, virtually invisible in the murky water, waiting for any disturbance. Flynn's movement through the water created vibrations that the crocodile's sensitive pressure receptors immediately detected. The attack came without warning from Flynn's left side. The crocodile's massive jaws clamped around her torso just below the ribcage, the crushing force immediately fracturing several ribs and inflicting catastrophic internal injuries. The crocodile lunged and clamped onto her, dragging her beneath the surface before beginning its signature death roll. Submerged and unable to resist, her body was spun through 3 complete rotations as the animal twisted violently. The force of the maneuver inflicted catastrophic spinal trauma, paralyzing her lower body almost instantly. Blood spread through the water as the crocodile's teeth drove deeper with each rotation. The crocodile maintained its grip while dragging Flynn toward deeper water near the channel bend. Her attempts to strike the animal's eyes proved futile as the crushing pressure on her chest prevented effective movement. The combination of the punctured lung, spinal injury, and submersion quickly overwhelmed her body's ability to function. Within roughly a minute underwater, Flynn lost consciousness from oxygen deprivation. The crocodile continued to hold her submerged until all movement ceased, ensuring no possibility of survival. The predator's instincts drove it to secure its prey completely before releasing its grip. Park rangers discovered Flynn's abandoned equipment on the shoreline later that morning when she failed to return. An extensive search later located her body in deeper water near the channel, after the crocodile had abandoned the remains. The investigation concluded that she had violated multiple safety protocols by entering known crocodile habitat alone during peak activity hours. Her death prompted renewed calls for stricter enforcement of safety guidelines in Kakadoo's waterways. Flynn's family established a memorial fund promoting crocodile safety education for outdoor professionals. The local tourism industry implemented additional safety briefings following the incident. Flynn's death was not the last crocodile fatality that year. 8 months later, marine biology student Pearl Walker faced the same danger in Queensland's Daintree River system, proving knowledge alone offers no safety. It was March 22, 2017, when the tidal waters of Queensland's Daintree River turned a romantic anniversary celebration into a nightmare. The ancient river system, flowing through one of the world's oldest rainforests, creates a complex network of mangrove-lined channels where freshwater meets the coral sea. During the wet season's end, the river runs high and murky, providing perfect hunting conditions for apex predators. Pearl Walker, a 28-year-old marine biology graduate student, had planned this river excursion as both a romantic gesture and research opportunity. Her academic focus on estuarine ecosystems made her intimately familiar with the Daintree's wildlife, including its substantial crocodile population. Walker also worked part-time as a tour guide, sharing her passion for marine science with visitors. That afternoon, she and her fiancé had launched their small aluminum dinghy to celebrate their engagement anniversary. Walker intended to collect water samples for her university research while showing her partner the river's unique ecosystem. She had been studying crocodile behavior patterns and felt confident in her ability to predict their movements. Recent observations had revealed a large saltwater crocodile frequenting a particular mud bank along their planned route. Walker had photographed this individual multiple times during previous research trips, documenting its basking behavior and territorial patterns. Saltwater crocodiles are among the world's most successful predators, having survived virtually unchanged for over 200 million years. These massive reptiles can exceed 6 meters in length and possess the strongest bite force of any living animal, measuring over 3,700 pounds per square inch. Their hunting strategy relies on stealth and explosive power, remaining motionless for hours before launching devastating ambush attacks. During the wet season, increased water levels allow crocodiles greater mobility throughout river systems. Wildlife authorities note that murky floodwaters significantly reduce human visibility while enhancing a crocodile's ability to detect vibration and movement, and they become more territorial as breeding season approaches, defending prime basking sites with increased aggression. At 2:30 p.m., Walker and her fiancé anchored their low-sided dinghy approximately 15 meters from the riverbank. The familiar crocodile lay motionless on its preferred mud bank, appearing to bask in the afternoon sun. Walker began photographing the animal while explaining its behavior to her partner. Confident in her assessment, Walker leaned over the port gunwale to collect water samples for salinity testing. The small boat's low freeboard brought her upper body close to the water's surface as she extended a collection bottle into the river. Unknown to Walker, the crocodile had silently entered the water and approached underwater, using the boat's shadow to mask its movement. The approximately 3.8-meter saltwater crocodile maneuvered alongside the dinghy beneath the surface, using the shadow of the hull to conceal its approach. As Walker stretched further over the side, the crocodile exploded vertically from the water with tremendous force. Its massive jaws clamped across her upper torso and neck, the crushing force fracturing her clavicle and violently wrenching her head against the gunwale. The impact's force pulled her completely from the boat into the murky water. The crocodile immediately submerged, dragging Walker 12 feet to the river bottom. It began its signature death roll, rotating twice while maintaining its devastating grip. The violent spinning motion caused catastrophic cervical spine trauma, severing her spinal cord high in the neck and causing immediate paralysis. The force of the attack caused severe head trauma and extensive internal hemorrhaging. Combined with the catastrophic spinal injuries, these wounds were medically unsurvivable. The crocodile maintained its hold underwater for several minutes, ensuring its prey was fully incapacitated. Walker's fiancé attempted a rescue using the boat's oar, but the crocodile had already disappeared into the river's depths with her body. Authorities recovered Walker's remains 2 days later, during an extensive search operation. The investigation concluded that she had ignored widely publicized safety guidelines by positioning herself too close to the riverbank in known crocodile habitat. Her death prompted renewed warnings about maintaining safe distances from riverbanks. Walker's University established a scholarship in her name for marine biology students, emphasizing field safety education. The local tourism industry implemented stricter guidelines for boat positioning near crocodile territories. Walker's death was not the last crocodile attack in Australia's north. 5 months earlier, 19-year-old competitive swimmer Thea Abbott learned that athletic ability offered no protection in the crocodile-infested Mary River. It was September 8, 2015, when the Mary River in Australia's Northern Territory became the site of a devastating crocodile attack that would claim the life of a promising young athlete. The Mary River system, renowned for having one of the world's highest concentrations of saltwater crocodiles, winds through tropical wetlands where multiple warning signs alert visitors to the extreme danger of entering the water. During the dry season, reduced flow concentrates water into deeper pools, giving the river a deceptively calm surface, despite its persistent turbidity and tidal influence. The surrounding landscape creates a picturesque setting that masks the presence of apex predators lurking beneath the surface. Thea Abbott, a 19-year-old university student studying sports science, had arrived at the Mary River with 3 friends for a spring break camping trip. Abbott worked part-time as a lifeguard and was known for her competitive swimming abilities and fearless attitude in the water. Her athletic confidence had earned her respect among her peers. The group had set up camp near a popular fishing spot, seeking a secluded location away from crowded tourist areas. Abbott dismissed her friends' warnings as overly cautious, believing the likelihood of an actual encounter was low during daylight hours. Her competitive nature and desire to prove her swimming prowess had driven her to suggest crossing the river to reach a sandy point on the opposite bank. Multiple crocodile warning signs were posted throughout the area, but Abbott dismissed them as overly cautious. She trusted her experience in the water and believed the risk had been exaggerated. Her friends voiced concern. yet she brushed it aside and moved forward anyway. The saltwater crocodile represents the pinnacle of aquatic predator evolution, having perfected its hunting techniques over millions of years. Large adult males can exceed 5 meters in length and weigh several hundred kilograms, making them among the largest living reptiles on Earth. Their bite force ranks among the strongest ever measured in an animal, capable of crushing bone with devastating efficiency. As daylight fades toward dusk, crocodiles become increasingly active as they transition into peak hunting behavior. Their ability to remain completely submerged for extended periods allows them to approach prey undetected. At 4:15 p.m., Abbott entered the Mary River from a sandy launch point, beginning her swim across the 80-meter-wide channel toward the opposite bank. The water appeared calm and inviting, with no visible signs of danger. Abbott had completed approximately 40 meters when disaster struck. A 4.5-meter saltwater crocodile had been monitoring the area from beneath the surface, likely attracted by the unusual disturbance in its territory. The massive predator approached from below, using the river's depth and murky water to remain completely hidden until the moment of attack. The crocodile struck with explosive force, its massive jaws clamping around Abbott's right leg just above the knee. The crushing bite likely fractured her femur and caused catastrophic vascular damage, resulting in rapid blood loss. The impact drove Abbott underwater before she could call for help. The crocodile clamped onto her leg and surged backward, using its body weight and tail to pull her beneath the surface. Once submerged and firmly anchored, it began a controlled death roll, rotating repeatedly while maintaining its grip. The powerful twisting motion inflicted severe tissue damage and rapidly disabled her ability to resist. The rotational force subjected her body to extreme stress, resulting in extensive traumatic injuries consistent with a sustained death roll. Maintaining control of its prey, the crocodile dragged Abbott underwater as it continued the attack. The force of the attack caused severe chest trauma, further compromising her ability to breathe. The combination of blood loss, trauma, and forced submersion would have led to rapid loss of consciousness. The predator dragged Abbott's body to the river bottom, holding her submerged for several minutes until all movement ceased. Her friends on the distant shore were unable to mount any rescue attempt due to the attack's speed and distance. Search and rescue teams recovered Abbott's body the following morning after an extensive overnight operation. The investigation concluded that she had ignored multiple warning signs and entered the water during peak crocodile activity hours. Her death prompted renewed calls for stricter enforcement of swimming prohibitions. Her death intensified public discussion around water safety education and the dangers of entering crocodile-inhabited waterways. The Northern Territory government increased signage and penalties for violations. Abbott's death was part of a broader pattern of fatal crocodile encounters in Australia's north, a danger reinforced by further deaths the following year. Thanks for watching. Want to see more? Click on your screen now.